This is the WZ-120 1GFT. Basically, it's the Yazi, and it's one of the tanks you can get from the free earn op. And I gotta say, this is probably one of the best tier 8 tank destroyers in the game at tier 8. It's extremely flexible, and it kind of has everything going for it. It has good DPM, good alpha, it has some pretty good frontal armor, it's pretty quick, it has good camo. I mean, you can't really go wrong with this tank. I think it's one of the few tier 8s I actually have multiple Radley Walters on. I want to say I have 2 or 3 Radley Walters between this and the Yazi, and they were relatively back to back. It's when I first got the tank and I was playing it, and I gotta say, it's pretty good. Now, it doesn't really have too many downsides besides the fact it's just a tank destroyer tier 8, so it kind of gets forced into tier 10 games pretty often. But outside of that, the tank actually feels really amazing. It looks pretty cool. It's not like iconic or anything in any way, especially since this is the unskinned version. However, it is still a pretty good tank. I'd attempt to blind fire right there to hit someone off that I can't even see. I don't really understand why I did that, but I did. And as I'm going to come up right here, I'm going to attempt to put shots in. Now I'm struggling to find shots on that guy, so I move over to trying to hit the M103. Still can't really get shots on him, so I kind of just wait, and I'm starting to play the waiting game because I don't want to get too far ahead of myself in a tier 10 match. So we're kind of just going to sit still and relax a little while the game goes, and eventually something's going to pop up and we're going to just start hammering them. There's their little light tank. But then, as you can see, we finally found the M103, so we're just going to start aiming in, and we're just waiting. Sometimes tank destroyers, you just end up playing a really long waiting game, and it's kind of unfortunate, but that's just the way it is. So we're going to throw a shot into the 110. We hit him for around 420 damage, which is pretty good. So we're just going to back off since we got detected. I feel like I'm kind of in danger here, so I just kind of drive away. Well, I pretend to drive away, but then I get respotted, which is unfortunate. And I come here and I kind of start to try to commit, because the issue is this light tank just YOLOs us for no reason, because, you know, go figure. And he somehow ricochets a shot off the back of his tank that doesn't make any sense, and Wargaming should refund that poor person for at least the silver cost of that, because that's just not right. And essentially, as you see, the armor starting to kick in. We block 720 damage. We don't really know what's shooting at us, but it is capable of blocking damage, as you can see. But now we're just looking for shots to get on people. And then finally, we see the 110 repoke, and we're just kind of waiting for him. We're going to plop a shot into the M103 right there, another 400 something damage. Kind of ruin his push. We're going to catch the other M103, or I don't know what, T5041, I guess, on his side. We're going to hit him on the side. He's going to do some damage to him. He gets tracked. We do another 420 to him. And now he's just sitting there with almost no health, and there's really not a whole lot he can do. He thinks he's going to escape, but I'm just not going to let it happen. And now that the hill situation's kind of more on track, I believe we don't get any more shots off while they're on the hill, but luckily for us, they're going to start to come off of it, and the 110 is going to get punished again. We're already up to 2600 damage, and it's just basically free farm. I'm going to blind fire there, but to be honest, I should have just fired at where he was, not what I think he was going. And we catch the M103. We're going to put one on the side of his turret for about 460 damage. We're now up to 3,150 damage, so we're looking pretty good. We're just going to make our way over here on the hill, and we're basically just going to try to fight it out. We find the 110, we put a shot and leave him on one shot. we're going to reverse so he can't, you know, retaliate any. And we're going to come back on this hill and look for any more people we can get our eyes on. I get detected, but as you can see, the armor kind of saves us because we're slanted really far back because of the angle. So there isn't a whole lot he can do about it. But now we just kind of play a waiting game, right? Because even though there's only 2 people left, they're higher tier than me. And I'm just not interested in basically running up on some tier 9s. I think they're tier 9s, but even if they're tier 8s, I have 900 health, so I'm a little bit reluctant to YOLO. We get spotted again, and we're just going to back off completely because I don't want to commit and then basically just get 2-shot. And as you can see, there's a VK100P up here, and we put one into the side of this turret, and we're now up to 4,000 damage. And I was kind of hoping to catch another shot, but there was really no hope of catching another shot. So I'm just going to skip to the end of battle screen since, you know, nothing else really happens besides this guy just gets murdered. As you can see, we win the game, obviously, and I do 4,400 direct damage. I earn 153,000 silver, and like I said, this tank is extremely good, and it definitely holds its weight. And it's definite, if you picked it for the earn op, you definitely picked a really solid choice, and you should enjoy it because it's really good.